Welcome to Master of Science with host Professor James McCanney. The good professor's career spans 50 years as a university teacher, scientist, and engineer. Each week, he will explore the rapidly changing world of science as many long-held theories are crumbling under the weight of new data. He will cover the fields of geology, archaeology, meteorology, oceanography, space science, astronomy, cosmology, biological evolution, virology, energy, mathematics, and more. So please welcome the host of Master of Science, James McCanney.
Good evening, everybody. Wow, tonight there's no way I can get away from this topic, this comet 3I Atlas. The misinformation is just, Niagara Falls looks small compared to the overflow of BS. That's all you can call it. Coming out of Harvard, coming out of NASA, coming out of YouTubers that think they know something. Everybody's spewing about this. Every blog, every newspaper trying to get somebody to click on their stuff. Oh my goodness. You know, that this thing is changing course, going to hit Mars. No, it's not changing course, it's going to hit Mars. You know, it's an alien spacecraft. No, it's not an alien spacecraft. It's a comet moving at very high speed. It's a rock. It's not an ice ball. And so, anyway, what I'm going to do is spend some time trying to clear the air here. And thank you for joining me, because this is the one place on the planet where you're going to get real information. But first of all, a couple quick announcements. I'm back to my good equipment again. I got that cured. And if you're used to, I run my own studio myself. I don't have stage hands here setting up things. And so one benefit is that I know, and I'm familiar with electronics, but still audio, cameras, all of this stuff can be touchy, let's just put it that way. And then you're dealing with software. So I'm back to all of my good equipment now. Had a couple weeks where I had some degraded camera issues, and okay. So anyway, enough of that. I want to talk first about the grow towers. And so this is something, now I'm not going to go into a long set of details, but these are amazing. I've been selling them for a long time. They are it's a tower that has a vat of water at the bottom. So you save about 98% of water. You can grow these in your house. You can grow these in a greenhouse. You can get commercial outfits. They now even have a loan program where you can get a loan of up to, I believe it's $17,500 and interest-free to install a growing system at your house. And this is a way to get started making a lot of money raising vegetables, really good organic non-GMO vegetables. Okay, enough of that. Here's the link. Go there, check it out. Secondly, I have a sale in my water filter products, the jmccwaterfilters.com webpage. Tremendous sale going on right now for the MR5 whole house water filter. So go there. Once again, here's the link to that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this show. But a few other topics here, and I have to cover this one too. I just get dragged into this because NASA is coming out with such just total information. If you couldn't have missed this if you had your eyes open for 2 seconds last week on the internet. NASA comes out with this announcement that it has discovered life on Mars. And that's the initial headline. And of course, they haven't. They haven't any more than they've landed a man on Mars. They found little spots on a rock that they dug up and drilled in a couple inches in the surface in what they think is an old riverbed. And of course, that would be easy to tell because there's erosion there. water erosion, which is recent, by the way. And there is absolutely abundant information that they could point to, but they've drilled into this rock and they found these little teeny specks on a rock that they think could be related to organic material that existed when this rock was built up, sedimentary rock was built up supposedly billions of years ago. Oh my goodness. But you know what the real story is? The real story is that Trump is right now making a decision on whether to fund $11 billion for NASA to bring a couple chunks of rock back to planet Earth to study them. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so this what's on the line is $11 billion. So the chief yo-yo at NASA gets up on the podium and he's got his, his wingmen back there, standing there like stooges, not even shaking their heads, just like, you could have wooden dolls back there that made more motion than these people. And he gets up and he goes, it starts out like really like we found life on Mars. And then all of a sudden it got weaker and weaker and weaker. And if we get this $11 billion, we'll be able to really study it and determine if there's life or not. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Take these people and put them out to pasture. Give them some kind of retirement. Send them off to Arizona where they can go golf. And stop playing in their sandbox. I'm just. There's no science here. It's garbage, and all they're doing is searching for funding. Oh my goodness. Okay, enough of that. There's another one where they're claiming that they found erosion on an asteroid. There again, these people, the stuff that comes up on these so-called science web pages, it's just, and you can scroll through it one after the other, and they're just these unbelievable stories that just, my opinion is that government-funded science should just be halted completely. It is absolutely worthless. The funding goes to people who, and I've seen this firsthand. I don't take part in government funding, never did. When I was a graduate student, I watched people basically fudging data. And it had nothing to do with me. I refused to do it. People wanted me to do it. I said, no, I'm not doing it. And they still got their funding. I told them, no, what you're saying is wrong. And the NSF, or the National Institute of Health in that case, came back and still funded the project, even though it did not find the results that they claimed. And they were lying about it. It's just like, no. I don't want to have anything to do with that. So I spent my whole life funding my own research and working independently. So anyway, okay, let's jump into tonight's topic. By the way, there's a change in what's going on here. This Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central Time, Master of Science with Professor James McCanney is going to be shortened to about a half hour. I've had a request from people that my show was running an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes, and it was just too long. So what they wanted was a shorter show, and what I've done is I'm doing a continuation of this show, which you can get with a lot more detailed information on my Patreon channel, which is patreon.com/JMCCSCI, the same name as you see up here, JMCCSCI. So anyway, the extended content for this show will be on my Patreon channel with a lot more information. And if you join there, I think it's like $5 a month minimum. You get the show content, the archives. The show archives will be posted there, and a lot of additional information. For example, tonight I'll be talking about this comet, 3I Atlas. I'm going to go through all of the basic problems of the information that's coming out, but a lot more scientific information will be on my Patreon channel discussing these topics, going into a deeper dive. For those who are really interested in a lot for more information, I'll have daily updates, daily posts, etc. So once again, I encourage you to join the Patreon channel, where you'll get a lot of additional information. And I still want this commercial-free show that for the general public, those people who have not as much time and they just want the basic information, can get it here for free. Okay, so on with Comet 3I Atlas. This comet is, well, first of all, when you see this amount of information, I call it blanket misinformation. And you'll see this, like other things in the news, I won't go into detail. You just see this blanket coverage. And no matter where you are, whether it's a newspaper or in an airplane in an airport watching the news on the TV, you're at home watching TV at night, you're on the internet, you're on your phone. I don't care where you are in the information world, you're going to see the story that they are pumping out to you. And these, in a lot of cases, are pre-planned disinformation programs to lead you astray and keep everybody chattering over here while something else is really going on over there. And we're finding this out, and thanks to the internet, none of this would come out eventually. And that's why a lot of people watch this show, is because I don't have agendas. I have, my agenda is truth and understanding science and giving you the bottom line. But at any rate, there's just so much misinformation coming out about this comet, it's unreal. So I'm going to first go through the laundry list of things that have been observed. And all of these things are explained in my papers that I wrote in 1979 describing how comets work. Above me here is the 30-year anniversary poster, which was done 20 years ago. So we're talking 50-year anniversary, pushing 50-year anniversary from my time at Cornell. A couple more years, it'll be 50 years since I walked across the quad out there in the middle of Cornell, listening to the chimes, the bells at noon, and watching the same group of people walking around and doing my research and accusing NASA on campus. Same thing they're doing today, looking for money and lying about data. It has not changed. And that's why funding from government, funding of science, has to end. This charade has gone on for 50 years, and now we have Comet 3I Atlas, and it's the same baloney. Okay, coming from Harvard University, from Cornell, from NASA, from JPL. Okay, these are actual observations. So these are actual data, things that have been, they've been observed, but they can't explain them. The first one out of the chute was when it was very first discovered. This is back in July 2nd of this year, a sunward spike. So immediately they start saying, well, this thing is coming in at lightning speed, and it's projecting something out the nose side. So and it's not even formed a tail yet. It is, encountering the solar environment, but it has not formed a tail yet. So nothing's coming off the nucleus in any other direction except in this exact sunward position. And rightfully so, thank goodness for some astronomer that's got his head screwed on straight. Loeb from Harvard, at least one good thing he did. He's the guy claiming, oh, it's an alien spaceship. No, geez, excuse me, no. But he noted that the sunward spike was in fact sunward. It was in fact sunward, and so this is a projection coming from the nucleus in the sunward direction. And of course, that's part of my plasma discharge comet model. You can see here this drawing right here. Let me get my finger right about it. This is explaining. Now remember that these photos here these drawings were done in 1986, where I predicted there would be X-rays to the sunward side of comets and sunward spikes, visible activity where that electron beam is coming in from the sun. Okay, so sunward spikes, that is a standard phenomenon around the comet nucleus, the plasma discharge comet model. As it discharges the solar capacitor, the electron beam coming out from the sun pinches its concentrated electron current coming into that environment of the comet nucleus, and you're going to see X-rays, UV, and all the entire electromagnetic spectrum down to microwaves coming out of that sunward spike coming out of the nose of the comet. And they observed it. So that's number one. Change of orbit. So they actually are doing their due diligence. Here's another thing coming out of the people tracking this. They said, wow, it's changing orbits. And they understand that it's slowing down just a little. And then the headlines come out and they go, oh, maybe it's going to hit Mars. All of these people grabbing for headlines, for clicks. And that's all they're doing. It's click grabbing. It's insanity. Oh, people that have no idea about celestial mechanics, it's going to curve and hit Earth. No, not at all. The insanity around this. But anyway, it's changing its orbit a little bit, and that is explained also by the tail drag that I talk about in the plasma discharge comet model, and that's what it does. It slows the comet nucleus down. It's not an electrical force. Okay, it's turning color green. Okay, there again. It's the Debye shielding cloud of hydrogen around the nucleus that is causing, it's the hydrogen green line. You look at it. You look at the picture of the comet in real color, and you look at the hydrogen green line, that's what it is. It's not some bizarre, species of molecules or something like that. It's hydrogen, which is the most abundant element around a comet, which mixes with oxygen, by the way, to make water, as the raw oxygen comes in also. Iron versus nickel. Okay, so there's more nickel than in a typical comet nucleus, and these apparently are from the nucleus itself, but there's no magical ratio relative to iron and nickel in comet nuclei. That's, once again, just fabricated misinformation. They have a few data points, and they're trying to say, well, all comets should have this iron and nickel ratio. It's simply not true. Excuse me. CO2, there's one of the ones that has been pumped since the very beginning. CO2 versus water content in the coma around the comet tail. They're saying there's 8 times as much CO2 as water. Now, this is explained because of the charge to mass ratio of ionized carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide versus water. And so you have H2O, and in a lot of cases the water is not ionized. And so what happens is you have a greater abundance of carbon dioxide coming in and carbon monoxide coming in around the comet nucleus because the nucleus is moving very fast. The nucleus of this comet is moving so fast that the water molecules are coming in at a slower rate because the comet simply moves by and they don't have time to catch up with it, and then they don't even get near the comet nucleus. So it is the charge to mass ratio of the CO2 and CO versus water, H2O, that allows it in more abundance around the comet nucleus. That's what's going on. Next, oh my goodness, this is in the last couple of days, that it's affecting the solar wind magnetic field. Now the solar wind carries the magnetic field out from the sun. Okay, good. But they're saying, oh, this little comet nucleus should not have any effect on it. It's so bizarre. But see, now they have equipment that can actually measure this. They have 3 different probes that can actually measure the solar wind in a certain given area. And so then they have one of these is around Mars, orbiting Mars right now. And so the end result is that, yes, this comet is affecting the solar wind, and because it's discharging the solar capacitor, it's dominating its area with electromagnetic effects. Yes, and once again, this picture right here is a diagram of Giacobini's inner, which was in 1986. The ISW-3 satellite went and flew along this. There's a line here. You can see this line that goes diagonally through the comet nucleus. That's the path behind the nucleus of the ISW-3 satellite at Giacobini's inner in 1986. And I talk about the fluctuation of the magnetic field as the discharge interacts with the solar wind. That's what's going on here. So once again, no big surprise, but if you think this is a dirty snowball, then you're out to lunch, buddy. That's all I can tell you. And so it's just amazing that the things I see, like, oh, there's no physics explanation. This is breaking all the laws of physics. No, it's breaking the laws of stupid astronomical theories that don't belong in a textbook. The ice ball comet model, the dirty snowball comet model. We knew 50 years ago these things couldn't be correct. All of the data compounding now is just pointing to the same issue. Okay. Then you have the claims by a Harvard professor. This guy's a Harvard professor that it's an alien spacecraft. He's getting interviews. He's getting airtime, television time. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Then you have the entourage, the literally thousands of outlets on YouTube and other locations that are promoting that oh, it's going to hit Mars, it's an alien spacecraft, they're going to come in and maybe they're returning to Mars, they used to live there. Oh my goodness. No, this is a rock coming in from outer space, and believe me, buddy, there's bigger things and faster things out there. It's just that recently we have had equipment that is capable of finding these objects and seeing them. That simply wasn't the case before. Some of these things come through without creating a coma or anything. That's how fast they're moving. This one happens to be in the ecliptic. And when it crossed the ecliptic is when it discharged. And there again, the ecliptic is where you have let me go back to the sun. There's a thing called the zodiacal disk. It's kind of like Saturn's rings around the sun's equator. Literally Saturn-type rings, and they're primarily made of iron. And so the extension of that electrically is like a record disk, let's put it that way, that extends out from the sun, Saturnian-type rings. And that has a great effect also on the discharge of the electric field, the return current of the solar capacitor coming back to the sun. So when these comets dip through the ecliptic, which is relative to the sun, it's the equator of the sun. The sun is spinning, and the disk is at its equator, just like a Saturnian type disk. And it turns out that the planets sit in that disk, also very close to it. And so when this comet dipped through that ecliptic plane, it interacted with that discharge. And you could imagine this like say a Van de Graaff generator that's discharging. Okay, so let me see. There's another claim that it's going to come close to Venus. It's not. It's going to have an alignment with Venus, which could be significant. It probably will cause Venus to go comet. They're very likely. But the big things to watch out for, they keep talking about the closest approach on, what's it, like October 27th approximately, when this thing will have its closest approach to the sun. And Earth will be on the other side. And they go, oh, that was a planned by alien, no. No, these type of things happen. And it's not a big deal. It's not like the aliens are going to fly off this thing and come to Earth. Do you see the level of insanity that is going on around this particular object? Okay, so if you want more information on this, like I say, go to my Patreon channel. There'll be a continuation of this discussion in a lot more detail dealing with the scientific topics. But like I say, you can't go any place on the internet today without seeing this. So I had to spend this show correcting some of these. And this comet is doing exactly what a comet would it be expected to do if it were moving at high velocity through the solar system. I think the things we should be watching for here this is the 16th of September, what we're going to be watching for now is the October 2nd closest approach, and maybe a few days before, where this thing starts to interact with Mars. We could see some electrical discharging between this comet and Mars. Then you could see some fireworks, some celestial fireworks. There again, we don't know how big this is because NASA is lying about it. I know for a fact that they've had radio telescopes observing it, but they're not releasing that data on the size of the nucleus, because it's a very easy operation using a radio telescope to measure the size of a comet nucleus. If it has a coma or no coma, doesn't matter, because that solid surface will reflect back the radio waves. And they've done it, believe me, but they're not releasing the data. So once again, if you want more information on this, continuation of tonight's show with a lot more scientific information and in general other news items, go to my Patreon channel, patreon.com/JMCCSCI. By the way, if you are a member of my Patreon channel, you can watch the live show also there and watch the continuation of the entire show in one sitting, or you can watch the archives at any time afterwards. So there's a lot of benefits to being a member of the Patreon channel. Talk to you soon.
This has been Master of Science with host James McCanney. Join us each week as James will delve into historical figures such as Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, and the great mathematicians as we explore the history of man, Earth, and our universe as you've never seen it before. Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern,